You are not broken. It's misspelled.
Yeah.
So, David, flip it to something else. Slide and slide. That's it. We finished up the treatment class on Monday night, the one that John and I were kind of co-teaching. Actually, John was teaching it. I was sitting there going, yay, yay. But the way that we finished it was to put everyone in a circle and to share what being in that class had given them, or if they didn't have anything specific to that class, to share what being at the center had meant to them. And I was blown away. Sometimes I think I get so busy with the details of this center that I don't appreciate the work that is going on individually, the healings that are happening, the transformations that are occurring. And someone that I respect very much said that when she came here, she was a victim and she was broken. And today, she's not a victim and she's not broken. And I thought, God, this is the work that we do. We take people from the muck and mire of things, the conditions, the stories, the histories, the manifestations of struggle and suffering, and we give them an opportunity to come out of it. Not everybody takes that opportunity. You know, we've had thousands and thousands and thousands of people come in here and go, no thank you. But there are those that stay and that use these teachings to say, there's something inside of me that is greater than my experience. There is something inside of me that is greater than who I think I am. There's something inside of me that is more than I can imagine. And I remember finding Signs of Mind back in, I think it was 77. And feeling very broken and feeling very lost and feeling very scared. And hearing these ideas that say, if you can just crack the door while you're standing in the dark, the light will flood in. You don't have to have lots of light. All you have to do is crack the door. And what are we doing? We're cracking the door to our hearts. We're cracking the door to that idea that we have about who we are and what life is. If we can just get our foot in the door, we can keep it open enough to be able to start to see. And when we start to see, we see things very differently than we did in the dark. If you're standing in a dark room, I know sometimes I'm walking around the house in the dark because I don't want to wake John up. I seem to have this thing of like 2 to 5 in the morning where I get very creative. And I'm walking around the house in the dark, and gosh, if the light was on, I would have seen that thing. But I didn't, because it was dark. And so once we start to let the light into our consciousness, we start to see things very differently than the way that they were when we were in the dark. Some people think that this teaching is very egotistical because we say you can be rich, you can be healed, you can be happy, you can live the good life, you can do that. But you know, to do that, you have to heal on the inside to be able to accept that. We also say that once you heal yourself, you can heal the world. But you can't heal the world until you heal yourself. As long as you are beating yourself up and running the number in your head that says, I'm no good, I don't deserve it, I shouldn't have it, then you can't do anything for anybody else. It's like being on the airplane and the oxygen masks drop down. They say the very first thing you do is put your own oxygen mask on. Because if you go around trying to help everybody else, you're going to be passed out in the aisle. And so we teach that you're perfect, you're complete, You're divine. And I would go farther to say you're precious. You are necessary to the unfoldment of all that is. That you would not be here if somehow Spirit, which is an infinite, could manage to pull it off without you. Because then there would be Spirit, the infinite, and the little place where you're not. And all of time and space would collapse. All of life would cease to be. I think that sometimes we don't give ourselves much credit for who we are in this world and in this life. I think that sometimes we think that because that happened to me, I did that, I found myself in that circumstance. I think that sometimes we feel that because we had that happen, that means we don't get to have a good life anymore. And I would like us to look at that and to see that there is no way for us to open up and let out the amazing, powerful, creative, spiritual being that we are, as long as we are feeling like we deserve to live in the dark. You're not broken. I don't care who told you you were broken. I don't care who told you you were lacking. I don't care who told you there was something wrong with you. That was my mother's mantra. Sweet little old lady when she was here. Boy, I don't know who that woman was in my childhood, but her mantra was to me, what's wrong with that child? Because I was different. And you know, being different is not wrong. So I grew up thinking there was something wrong with me, and so I kept creating things that were wrong so that I could say, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. You know, left school at 15, getting my second doctorate. I already got it here, but we're going to do the whole formal thing or international thing tomorrow night. Left school when I was 15 because I was different. And maybe some of you can relate to that. But silly me, I thought I was dumb. I thought I was dumb until I went to UNCA and made straight A's. Then I thought, well, hey, maybe I'm not dumb. Maybe there is something going on inside of my head that's okay. It's just different. So if you have something going on that says because you are different, then that means that you're broken. I want you to know you're not broken. Even if someone tried to break you, even if it looks like they broke you, well, that marriage, that relationship, that business, that bankruptcy, that disease, it broke me. No, it didn't. It did not break you. You are alive and well on planet Earth. You are spirit showing up in you as you, is you now. You're perfect. You are pure. You are precious. You are part of all that is. But we are different. And I think we have to reconcile that. We will never be like other people. And God knows some of us really have tried. It doesn't work. We're not made that way. And so if you feel bad about that, I want to give you a little different perspective. Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round heads in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. That was an Apple computer ad. One of the people who helped me realize I wasn't broken was Edwin Gaines, who I've known for almost 40 years. And she says, let me tell you something. God is not glorified by poverty. God is not glorified by illness. God is not glorified when you feel guilty or unworthy. God is not glorified when you run around playing the victim. God is glorified when you stand up and acknowledge who you are and claim your birthright. And who are you? You are a divine being, a child of God the Most High, a person who deserves to have every good thing that life has to offer. And I want you to know I use that word child intentionally in this talk because I'm speaking to that old part of you that didn't know any better, that believed what he or she was told, that there was a flaw, there was a missing piece, there was something not right. And to that part of you, I want to say you're perfect. You're precious. You are whole and complete in every way. And now, as an adult, it's time to stand up, to be strong, to be powerful, to be clear, to let go of those old ideas, to let go of the story, to let go of the belief that says that there is anything wrong at all, and to be who we have come here to be. That's the only way to heal the world. That's the only way to heal ourselves. That's the only way to heal each other, is to be who we have come here to be. And to be who we have come here to be means we got to stop being who we haven't come here to be. We're not broken. There's nothing wrong with us. We are different because we let our light shine. Because we believe that if we name it, we will claim it, and if we know it, we will grow it, and that we can create our reality and have the life that we want, and that there's not a God up on the cloud, there is a God within us that lifts us over every obstacle, has the solution to every problem, and the answer to every question. Not only are we not broken, we are magnificent. Freaking magnificent, I tell you. I love that we have a place to come, that we can bring our dirty laundry and get it cleaned up. I love that we have a place to come, that we don't have to try to pretend to be someone different than we are, that we can look at it honestly and clearly in the light of day and say, is this real or is it not? Is this a myth, a fantasy from ages ago that had nothing to do with me? I just happened to be in the way. Is this something that I can let go of and embrace the life I was always meant to live? I look at that video and look at people all around the world. We have it so easy. We have psychological issues. Those are first world problems. We have first world issues. I wasn't nurtured the way I wanted to be nurtured. I found myself in a really bad situation and I got very physically hurt from that, emotionally hurt. I'm wounded. There's still first world issues. We don't have tigers outside of our tent. We don't have genocide going on. We're not in the middle of a war. These are first world issues. Let it go so that somehow the light within us, the power within us, the clarity within us, coming from little old Asheville, North Carolina, can circle this world and lift everyone up. We are created in the image and likeness of God itself. We are spirit turned loose in this world. As a being of light, we come from the light. As a being of love, we're made out of love. As a being of power and clarity, that's who we are. And if there's anything inside of you that thinks less of you than that, it's time for it to go. It's time for it to go, as Ernest would say, back into the nothingness from whence it came. Just because someone gave it to you doesn't mean you need to keep it. There are times to act like a child and times to act like an adult, and I won't quote Paul because that'll freak half the people in the room out. It's time for us to grow up. Yes, that happened, and it's not happening now, and we have the ability to live the life that we want, so let's look for a blessing. If we can't find one right away, let's just move on and be who we were meant to be. Live the life we were meant to live. We don't do anything that makes everything better by being small and falling down. No matter how far down you may have been, there's always a way up. And I assure you, it's time to get up. I love you very much. So we have our welcomers coming forward. Who's here for the first time? They're going, boy, these people really are different here. Who's here for the very first time? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's your names? Katie? Carrie? Carrie and Katie? Sweet, welcome, welcome. Who else is here for the first time? Welcome, welcome. I called you handsome men when you came in the door. What's your name?
Roger.
Roger, I'm glad you're here, Roger. These people have cards for you that say, please, oh, please put me on your mailing list. It does, it says welcome home. And if you want to be kept informed as to what's going on here, you can give us your name, your address, your phone number, or your an email address, and just check the email address if that's all you want to get. Save a tree, all of that, and we'll let you know what's happening here. Anybody here for the first time over here? Welcome, welcome. What's your name?
Dave.
Dave, I'm glad you're here, Dave. Welcome to a place that sees God in your eyes. A place where miracles are an everyday occurrence. Where magic is always in the air. Where our lives get better and better and better. Where we heal, where we grow, and where we thrive. I'm delighted that you came today. And now take out what you're going to give. As our prosperity acceptors come forward, put it in your hand. And know with me that we are deeply loved, we are safe, and we are free. Know with me that God is the source of all supply, that Spirit lifts each and every one of us, that as we give, we receive. And right here and right now, we give from our fullness, we give from our wholeness, we give from our joy, knowing that this world is amazing to live in. We get to experience the best of life, all of the tastes and flavors and views. We get to experience having more than enough to do whatever it is we choose to do. And I know that each one of us comes together this day to make this center all that it was ever meant to be. It is a place of peace, a beacon of light, a tower of strength, and a fountain of wisdom that touches the lives of all who call it home. And we'll repeat our investment affirmation together aloud. I've really enjoyed this week. Give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.
Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open heart and open hands, I give and receive in love. Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open heart and open hands, I give and receive in love. Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open heart and open hands, I give and receive in love. I give and receive in love.
And I know that everything in these baskets is blessed because every time we give, that which we are, Spirit as us, goes with our gift. It may be a smile, It may be a hug, it may be money, it may be a chance. I know that that which we are is turned loose in this world every time we give anything. And so I see that as light pouring forth from each of us, filling up this room from the floor to the ceiling and all between the walls. This air is rich and blessed with God as us. It touches us, it blesses us, it heals us. It goes on out to travel this world, to touch, to bless, and to heal every being on this planet. Always here and always now, touching every one of us here today, everyone who's ever been here, and everyone yet to come. And so it is.